You guys, yeah. There's my mom, there's my brother. Hey, we're going to entertain you hopefully for about another half an hour here. We're going to put a little video together, give a little bit of insight into creating a new character, and we're going to let the viewer out here see a little bit of the thinking that goes in when I'm creating a character, and more importantly, I've done 1,000 characters that I have, that I sit at home and I do them, and I just create them on my own. I maybe run it by the dog if they bark or not. So, but I want the help of the audience, and what we're going to do is from scratch. Unfortunately, whatever's done, I own it. So you can't come back and sue me later. But we're going to get you up to the podiums. We're going to run through it, and we're going to create a character. We'll decide after I stop talking whether there's going to be a good guy, bad guy, woman, female, male, tall, short, whatever. We'll get into that. Right now, as you guys know, we're doing Spawn comic books, and if you haven't gotten on, check your local retailer or comic book shop. The Spawn was created, here we go, we got them in the back here. Spawn was created literally over 10 years ago. Now, I should have brought some of those. I even came up with one the other day. It said Spawn in space, and he didn't have his cape, and he was on, like, flying through, and it was a horrible drawing. But I've got a 25-page story of the Spawn that I did when I was, going to high school and just starting in college. He's been sitting there, the Spawn, for, I think I created him around 1980, for 12 years. Now, in the 12 years since then, I've been in the comic book business, working for Marvel comic books and DC comic books, doing Spider-Man and Hulk and Batman and stuff. I never pulled him out of my suitcase. And I've got like another 50 of them, but he was a guy that I put a lot of time into. So when we finally left Marvel comic books and we formed Image Comic Books, a new company that's the hot guys right now, and we hope to stay that hot, I just went back and did all those characters that we created. And you know what? I know that you guys doodle on your pages, and you guys do the exact same thing that I did, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys got 20 characters, some of you guys out there, that you just go, oh yeah, sit on them one day and draw the X-Men and Batman, Superman, and later on down the line pull out that character. Walt Simonson, if you ever saw a book called The Star Slammers, same thing. That was a science project, and this science project was to come up with something that was sci-fi, and he came up with characters and made it a comic book and goes, here's my science project. It's a sci-fi comic. And teacher gave him a good grade. But he sat on that for years and finally did the book for a Marvel epic called The Star Slammers. 15 years later, when his abilities were real fine and he'd honed them and stuff, and obviously it was a lot better thing. The Spawn right now has a power meter that I don't know. I mean, I'll explain issue number 4, but as his power goes down, he gets closer to death and the whole bit. The reason I did that is that right now, when you guys work for Marvel or DC or Fantagraphics or Dark Horse or Tundra, usually you do one character. When you do one character, and you get bored of them, you got to go to another character. Or you do what I did on Spider-Man, you bring in a lot of guest stars. I don't want to draw Spidey, I'm going to draw somebody else. But I created the Spawn in such a way that I could have my cake and eat it too. He can do anything or he can do nothing, and it doesn't make a difference. So for the most part, he's going to be pretty urban, kind of Batman, Daredevil type guy, but he can also spin planets on his finger if he needs to, although it drains a lot of energy. And the cool thing about that is that if I get tired of drawing Batman type stuff or dark urban stuff, I can go do a Superman thing or a Spider-Man thing or a Thor thing. You know what I'm saying? I've covered my rear. I don't got to quit drawing Spawn just to do something else with a different flavor. And who's to say I can't change the costume? I can change that even if it's only for 2 issues. We've got an issue coming up in issue 7 or something like that where you got to have that one at least once, guys. Where he straps on the big bazooka, and he's got all the guns and the belts and the magazines and stuff like that. That had to happen at least once. So he gets rid of the cape, and he sits there. And of course, I only do it for a couple issues, and then we'll get back to what we're doing. But those are just some of the things I like to play with. I go, after 6 issues, do I want to keep drawing Spawn the same way? After I quit doing Spider-Man, to go back a bit, I didn't quite know what I wanted to do. I quit doing Spider-Man and worked for Marvel comic books for two reasons. The first and biggest reason was I became a new father. My baby just turned 1 year old. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you know, I wish she was here. Little Cyan, hi, wherever you are. I wish she was here, but she's out at a wedding. I usually crate her with me wherever I go, just because if people won't stand in line, they want to hold the baby, and I get a bigger lineup anyway. Being a dad gave me a different perspective on some things and mellowed me out. And it's about, although if you talk to some of the people downstairs, not that much. And I just felt that it was time for us to change the system a little bit. Image Comic Books is my chance to change the system. And if the system gets changed even a little bit, and some of the rules get changed, and it makes it a little bit better for the 12-year-old kids coming up, then we've accomplished what we wanted. When we decided to come and do something new, I got the Spawn in my portfolio. It's been collecting dust for 12 years. Let's pull them out and let's blow them off. Now, I have to come up with the concept. At that point, he was shot in the future, and it wasn't quite what it is today. You know, I jazzed him up a little bit just to make it a 90s feel. The first thing that we had to do was get something that was going to be saleable. Now, I think you guys have noticed that out of all the new Image stuff, mine's probably the most, I think the oldest looking, the traditional. See, and that's why when people go, you didn't create Spawn 10 years ago. I created Spawn 10 years ago. 10 years ago, superheroes had, you know, shorts and a belt and a mask and a cape, right? I mean, Superman and Thor and Batman. I mean, those are the big boys. Where now the X-Men are very popular, and you got a lot of Schwarzenegger and Stallone and Rambo type looks. They don't have masks anymore. They don't have capes. They just got artillery and gadgets and stuff like that. There's my proof right there. My guy's outdated, you know. But in a weird kind of way, like clothing, it's been so long since somebody's created like somebody with a cape, it looks new. Wow, look at that. What a genius. He put a cape on somebody. Just that nobody's been doing it for 10 years. So we got the Spawn out there. We've got, if you guys have seen, the funny car out there. Take a look at it. There's 2 paint jobs, right? You know why there's 2 paint jobs? I want you to vote on which side you like the best. 2 paint jobs, because I want you to look at that Spawn logo twice as hard, right? If you're going to be in the position where I'm at, where you got to try and sell stuff and be somewhat commercial, name recognition is everything. So if I can get you to look at my car twice as long, because you're going, the black side Spawn, or the white side Spawn, or the black side Spawn, I don't care, just as long as you go to bed and you're like, Spawn is fried to my brain, you know? Spawn, you know what I mean? Coca-Cola, it's just, I'm in your face. So some of the guys that hate me right now, there's the new symbol of the 90s. Get a close-up, because that's going to be on the movie that's coming out, guys. And there's another one right there. The reason we do a symbol like that is I always thought it was cool that, you know, Superman and Batman, especially like the Batman movie, you remember when it first came out, they had the big emblem out there? And all it was the emblem and a date, and you went, Batman movie's coming. It didn't say that. It's just a Batman movie's coming out. And I go, we're going to get this out. It might take me 10 years, 20 years, but pretty soon my grandma's going to know, Spawn, that's the Spawn. So that's what that's about. That's the 90s symbol for Batman. He created a symbol in 1964. This is going to be the new one here. Besides having some glitchy stuff, we got to actually have a character and a name and stuff like that. I just figured, okay, I'm going to be pulling some stuff from my roommate, my ex-roommate, Al. So we got to give my guy a name. It might as well be Al, and his last name was Simmons, Al Simmons, right? So we've got a man here today, and I'd like to introduce you to the real Al Simmons, who's given me a lot of inspiration for my comic book. And Al, come on up here, bud. Let's see him. Sim, look at this. Look at this. We've got him convinced here. Look at this. As a matter of fact, after I told him that he was going to be named the Spawn, He was working in security guard. He quit his job and like goes, Todd, I want to sell your stuff. I mean, he's sucked into the Spawn right now. He's driving the Spawn car around and stuff like that. Al, what we're going to try and do here, if you want to see if you can get the people up to the podium here, we're gonna try and organize it. We're going to create a new character here, and we're going to put him probably in the Spawn comic book. So if you want to get them organized up there, we'll get away with the drawing and do the stuff that we initially started to do for the view over here. So first thing we're going to do is you either got to have great heroes or you got to have great bad guys. Your good guys are only as good as the bad guys and vice versa. So do we want to come up with the hero or do we want to come up with the villain today? Let's see a show of hands here. Then we'll be able to say, good guy. I heard more voice than that. We're drawing a bad guy. And you want to know what? The bad guys are the coolest guys. The Violator right there, I love that guy. So I love monsters. Okay, we're going to come up with the bad guy. That's good. That's because then I can use him in the Spawn a lot easier and I could use another hero. The only other thing we'll do before we get started here is, do we want him to be male or female? Female. What? Dang it. Okay, female. You guys win. I don't draw the good babes like Jim Lee and Silvestri and Dave Stevens. We'll do it. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I doubt that we're going to want like a heavy set because she's going to have to be quick and tough and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rough out a pose. Let me ask you before I rough out the pose and we get you up here at the podium. Do we want her to be, the pose will depend on what kind of area we're going to go. Do we want her to be loaded down with gear, or do we want her to have powers, or do we want her to be quick, or do we want her to be simple, or what do you guys like?
Very maneuverable.
So the gear and stuff you guys feel slows somebody down. Okay. I'll put her into then just a cool vixen pose there, and if you guys want to get up to the podium there, then what we'll do is we'll get the details and we'll create this babe from scratch. Do we want to come up with the name after we're done? Maybe after we're done we see the visuals, that might be better. So, okay, here we go.
I heard a good idea right here. Yeah, go ahead.
How
Yes,
about
sir.
another person who was brought back from the devil like Spawn was, who made a deal with the devil to come back to life?
Oh, and they cross paths?
Yeah.
In a weird kind of way, that's really what this Violator guy's about. He's made a pact with the devil or demon, whatever. I never really specify, but he's kind of already been down that path. So why don't we come up with something that's a little more earthbound? Because then
Something spacebound.
spacebound.
Yeah, alien, intent, or cult. You know, you said that before that you had ideas that with the power thing you could bring them out into galactic situations.
Yeah, you can go anywhere.
You know, instead of having something devil-bound or earthbound, maybe an avenue to take is extraterrestrial.
Extraterrestrial. Okay, what we can do here is we can give her kind of an alien look, even though she might maybe be somewhat human. You know what I'm saying? You guys ever see Ghostbusters?
Sure. Yeah.
You know that lady that had the red eyeballs? Yeah. She was. I wouldn't want to meet her in a dark alley. She kicked my butt, right? I mean, so. And I never knew whether she might have been a human that was turned into that or whatever. So let's give her. Okay, we'll come out here at the hand here. We'll just make this generic for now. Zit, zit.
You got an idea, Mr. Glassman?
Yeah.
Okay.
How about a lady scientist who accidentally drinks a potion that she was creating, or somebody else was creating, and they were studying insects, and they had this here liquid that was made from fleas.
Liquid fleas. Okay.
Yeah, and She accidentally
And she makes you scratch
she
all the
accidentally-
time.
It looks
Yeah.
like coffee, and she thinks it's a cup of coffee, and she drinks it. And
Okay. Here's what I can get out of that. Because we're not doing the comic book here. Here's what I can get out of that. I can get that if she has something to do with insects, then we can use either some of the powers or some of the looks of an insect. Now, if you guys really look at an insect book, if you guys are coming up with bad guys, insects are the coolest. He kind of looks like a mutated insect right there, right? I love those. I mean, what do you think Alien look like? Aliens he's just like a distorted bug. I mean, essentially. So bugs, they work because they got like 9 legs. And I always hated that aliens, which is why I think the Alien movie is so popular. I always hated that in comic books and a lot of other places, when you go to like the planet Nanu or something, that everybody had like 2 arms and 2 legs. No way. If I'm going to go and travel like 20,000 light years, I don't want to get off and see somebody who looks like my dad with a beer belly, you know? I want like, wow, that looks like the tree in my backyard with fangs, you know? Because I've never seen a walking tree, so I want to see something that's cool to look at. And you know what? You know what's the coolest thing about designing monsters? You never draw a wrong monster. You know why? You don't tell me where those warts go. What, you seen that guy before? Right? That's why I draw a lot of money. You can't tell me those fangs are wrong. What, you seen this guy? No, there's no wrong fangs, arms, knuckles, no way. So we'll give her maybe a little bit of an insect look, and we'll just have to figure out what that's going to be. So, okay, go ahead.
I like it when like a supervillain has his hands really tight and there's like something glowing around the hands.
Oh, I like this bunny.
Yeah,
Okay.
something similar to that.
Okay, now she's gonna be the bad babe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to worry about her feet a little bit later or something. She's gonna be the bad babe here, so we got to come up with. And you guys want her to be simple? Okay. Okay. We'll do a little bit of coloring when we're done here, but black is pretty hot, so I don't know whether you guys want her to be open, be black, what you guys really want out of her. Do we want to make her look wild? And the way to make them look wild is either you give them some strapping, or you give them some wiggy wild hairdo. Do you want the hair to just be on one side? She's half bald. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I like to try and think about what hasn't been done before. So there's no reason why she has to be symmetrical. If you go see the car, you'll see that there's 2 paint jobs on it. You don't have to paint the car perfect. What do you guys see? Do you guys see a headgear? Do you guys see wild hair? Do you see hair coming out of headgear? You see her kind of bald with the horn? I mean, she's going to be...
Horns.
Pardon me?
Set of ram's horns.
Set of ram's horns? We can do it. We can do it. Okay. Okay, we're going to give her some ram horns. Now, you can either go ram horns up or ram horns down. You know what? I think they look cooler going down. And even though they're not going to poke anything, I think they just look cool. So we'll give her some coming down here and make them a little bit mean here. So we'll come and we'll give them a little tuck in the corner here. Okay. And this one is going to come here.
Todd, if we were to stick to the insect theme also, maybe like a praying mantis really seems to exhibit fear. Maybe on the inside of the elbow joints have little, barbs. Maybe behind the knees also barbs. You know how the praying mantis has the barbs and they crush the prey in there?
Yeah.
That could be something like it.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so we'll give her the horns here, and then probably. Do we give her masking? Do we give her not masking, but even makeup stuff on her face? You want to give her a mark on her face? Sometimes the markings look pretty cool.
Or either that, or maybe even like have her do makeup so she could change it, so it's not always the same.
Okay. So we'll give her.
Especially for an insect.
Okay, we'll give her. Well, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to cut her face in half, and not make it symmetrical. So, and we'll put it here, and then, as a matter of fact, I wonder if I should make this mark black just for no reason but to make it black here. So let me just do this, and then I'll show you what we've got, and we can go from there. If we actually, I'll leave some of it open. And we can go from there.
Todd, to stick with the storyline, Spawn was supposedly made through the pact with the devil. Why do you have this same character, another pact with the devil, but this time the devil's sending her back to make Spawn use up all his powers?
You know, except for if you read number 4, the devil doesn't want him to use up all his powers, because he's down there for a reason, and him using up his powers doesn't really. He gave him the power, so he doesn't want him to burn it. You know, he wants him actually to be conservative with it, but basically he wants him to be a bad guy, and he wants him to go after like bullies, and he wants him to spread evil more than anything else, and that's what his whole gig is right there. Let's make these a little.
If she's gonna be like an insect, then we should like give her like segments, I guess.
Get rid of what?
A segmented look, sort of.
Segmented lips. Okay,
No,
I can.
segmented look.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. On this small drawing, I'm not gonna be able to do that. So, is there a spot on her that we could do some segmenting on
Like
her?
in her abdomen area.
Okay, we'll come in there with a segmented abdomen. There we go. Abdomen. Yeah. Now, do you guys actually look at, like, when you see, like, battle armor on people, do you guys, now, tell me, honestly, do you guys actually go, how can he raise his arm? I just want to know, because when I'm creating characters, I want to know whether, like, I create stuff that, like, bugs you guys. Okay, we'll give her that, and we even make it a little metallic-y here, so we'll give it a little bit of a shine to it. So, the guy hanging around here, Chance Wolf, who did the logo, I might even, maybe once we get Chance's here today, maybe what we'll do is when we're going to get to the name, I'll get Chance up here, and he can whip out a logo for us too. So we've got like a logo to go with her. So here's what we got, and we gotta go from here. We're gonna go settle. We got segmented abdomen. We got the horn. And we've got the marking on her face. We can make we'll decide later in the color whether we want the rest of her face to be flesh or white or green or purple or whatever else. I'm gonna give her blank eyes, and the reason I want to give her blank eyes, my thought process behind it is, blank eyes look meaner and are scarier than when you can actually see pupils. That's why skulls are so intimidating. So I'm gonna give her a blank eye on both sides. For now, I'm not even gonna give her an eyebrow, because then her eyes will look a little bit meaner if I curve up her eyelashes just a bit. But I say we give her like blank staring eyeballs here. So now, next thing we got to do is we got to come up with something that she's going to be somewhat formidable for. She's going to take on the Spawn. We're going to go with the bug motif still. So let's throw a little bit of bug stuff now. I'm just going to run it out here, and we're going to let the audience basically make an arbitrary guess. Individuals in the audience make the arbitrary guess, and we're going to live with it. Everybody here today is going to live with it. Bugs have, little pinchers on them, okay? Some of them have them on the sides of their heads. Basically, that's what that is. Some of them have them, on their arms and whatever else. I say that we got to put some kind of pinchers on her. Now, do you want me to put the pinchers on her legs, like coming out from her legs, or do you want me to put them on her like forearms so she can almost use them as a defensive thing or as a weapon?
On her arms.
Okay, now how about, you want to see those spikes? We'll make them kind of like little spikes. Do you want to see them coming downwards so they look like a Batman type thing? Or do you think if we curve them the opposite of Batman, they're like this, that when she's punching and stuff, she's got like some points or something like that?
Well, I think if they were pointing up, they'd be more aggressive. She'd be like jabbing and sticking him or something.
Okay, and then and they're not going to be able to maybe grab her wrist or something like that.
Right.
So okay, so we've got it there. We've got one down. Let's give her the pinchers. Now, let's make it, since she is going to be a bit of a insect looking. Let's give it segmented ones, and maybe what we'll do is give her 3. Seems to be a good number. It's good for old bats. It's good for us. So we'll give her 1, 2, 3. Now, I can always modify these things and make them a little more slicker once I get down to actually drawing her in the comic book. So these, again, will be just guidelines for me to do what I've got to do here. So we got 1 on that side, and we got to come here, and we're going to go 1 here, 2 here, and 3 here. And those will extend almost like a little bit of closet. So, okay, we'll come up in here, and we'll segment it a bit. Perfect. Okay, now, do we want to give her anything, since she's got the spikes there, we want to keep her clean. Do we want to give her anything under her arms? Do you want to see anything underneath her arms?
If it's something underneath her arms, I don't think she'd really be related to the insect world. It's
Okay.
either that or it's got to be something really
Okay.
subtle.
Okay. Well, what do you see that I could put? How about like on her hand? What could I put on her hand? You see like a claw? Or
The webbing has been used.
Right.
The claws have been used.
Right.
The only thing you can go with maybe is just pretty fingernails.
A pretty fingernail? So she won't have any gloves or anything? We'll just make it barehanded?
No, she's got to be barehanded.
Okay, we'll give her pretty fingers. You got it. Pretty fingers. We're getting there. Now I'm using a pretty thick felt tip marker, which I usually use something that's about the size of a hair. So if we don't have quite the prettiness that we're looking for here, then please bear with me. Okay, we're going to give her that now. So obviously, if she's not wearing gloves, then we got to have something else that's maybe protecting part of her hand. So maybe I'll give her a Michael Jackson glove. You know, the ones cropped off at the knuckles? That's what we'll do. We'll give her something at the knuckle. So, And we can make the fingernails a little bit longer than usual because she's going to be kind of a bad babe. So they let theirs go a little bit longer. Although Fu Manchu is the guy who makes his go the longest. So, and we come up with the thumb here. Perfect. And here, and we'll give it to Michael Jackson. Okay, just so she's got something on the hand. Because in that way, we can always say that if those pinchers on her arms might be attached to a glove thing that comes running up and down, and maybe we strap it up on her arm. So why don't we even do that? Because in that way, we got the option of never ever taking it off, or we can say, yeah, it's strapped on, and if it's going to be strapped on, then it can be taken off. So she's got the option of being human if we ever want to make her human down the line. So we'll come in here, give her a bit of a sharp, pointy elbow so that they don't want to come up and get her. Okay. And we'll come up in here. And we'll do the same over here. Okay, now, we need something on her legs.
Well, I was thinking something like a tail, maybe, like plated, like the abdomen there. Coming down from the back.
Coming on her rear.
Yeah.
How about we wanted to keep her simple. So how about if we use kind of a tail has almost like a belt ornament?
Sounds good.
You know, then that way she can like pull it off if she needs it and use it like a tail or a whip or something like that.
Yeah.
But then she's not being encumbered by it kind of being on her running between her legs and tripping and stuff like that. So since we've drawn the abdomen muscles already, we'll make this thing at a slant. So the cool thing about doing like a whip thing, as I always do, is it's always running all over the place. So we'll make it running back behind her here and then cut up in here. Do we want spikes at the end of that?
Yeah.
Should we put spikes? We'll put a spike at the end of that, okay.
It could even be retractable too. You can pull it in or out.
Okay. That the naysayers of comic books always go, the women, they make them too well endowed, you know? And it's like, women aren't like that. And you know what? They're right. Women don't really got big chests. But you know what? The average guy doesn't got a set of lungs on him like Superman does either. So we don't seem to have any problem with the drawing overdeveloped. I mean, look at me. I'm in good shape. But I mean, that's like anorexic compared to Soup's. And we don't seem to have a problem overdeveloping the men. But as soon as you do an overdeveloped woman, it's like, that's sexist. Nah, wait, that's not sexist. That's consistent. So. Okay, we give it a whip. Okay, so we want something sexy. So how about, now, right now, you know what's sexy is a French cut. But we don't want to expose that much. So why don't we give her the illusion of a French cut by coming up here and exposing this part of the flesh right up in here. Right here, loser, and right up in here. This, when we color this real quick, will be flesh. So we'll make that, and then I wonder if we want to go, let's run that down her leg maybe a bit. Like, let's give her at least 2 flesh bubbles. As a matter of fact, we'll make them into points, so that looks a little more menacing. I might even change the shape of those flesh cuts to be more points or something like that. That might be a little more menacing. Again, as long as I know that you guys want sex, we can redefine it. Across her chest, do you want to see a plate across her chest? Do you want to see steel across her chest? You want to see a gun slung over there? Or do you want, like, on one side, let's say on one side, we don't have to make it all even. Do you want to see like a shoulder pad, or what do you see? What do you see? Look at them on there. What do you see for like the chest area there? Or a big S?
Kind of changed a little bit. Don't keep it the same on both sides, like you're saying.
Okay. So how about if we come then, we cut her armor or dress down her throat on one side and cut it up here like this. Okay, this we can either make it fleshy, this we can make it metallic, high gear, and then we've got this coming up here. Again, I can always do some designy cut stuff, like go like this and cut it across her or something, so she looks a little more racy or something like that. Let's give her a little bit of protection on the shoulder. We'll come this way right here. Okay, we'll give her a bit of a shoulder pad, just small enough so it looks kind of like an armadillo that kind of looks like a little bit of a big bug if you mush them on the road. So, okay. What about the legs? Oh, we got a female, beautiful female babe. I patterned it after her. You give us the insight from a female's point of view. What do we always do wrong and what should we do right this time?
She needs high boots, like up to her thigh,
High.
with spikes on the end.
Okay, at the top of her boots, you're right, that's cool. At the top of her boots, do we want to like do we want it to like, you've seen like Thor or some of those guys where it flares out to a point, and then do you want to put a little symbol like right there or something like that?
Sure.
A little fang thing. Okay, let's do a point. As a matter of fact, let's tie the boots into these markings that I gave right here for the flesh. So we'll give her the high, sexy booties.
And also her spikes can shoot out venom or something, some kind of poison.
Some kind of poison? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now she will have high heels. Let's make a note for ourselves. High heels, but because I'm not going to be able to get that on this drone because I wanted to make this big so that we could see it out there. We'll add that later. So we'll come in here. Do you want those boots to be chrome, or do you want those boots to be clothy? Do you see them being like one big long piece that's fitting tight, loose? You know what I'm saying?
Like a velvet piece.
Like a tight velvet piece?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Here we go. Okay, we got the booties. Okay, actually, we're going to come up. You know what? By the time this is done, this is what I usually do. After I design a character real quick, I always like overdo everything the second time around. So I know I'm going to pull the points probably up to her crotch, you know, by the time I'm done. So I'll actually pull this one up here so it will play more into this one up in here. And we'll come in here like this. Okay, we got the boots. Do you see anything else on her legs, or is the boots good enough?
You could give it her strap on her thigh, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, you put spikes on that strap around her thigh, and she can pull a knife or something, a dagger out of there.
Okay. We'll put one strap just on one side, right here, and we'll give her the tool of doom. Okay, let's work on the head right now. Okay, we got the horns and we got this cool marking on her face. You think she look meaner right now if we just make her bald? Because bald is mean, you know what I mean? Sinead O'Connor, you know, she's intense. So, and even like Grace Remember Grace Kelly? Or who? Not Grace Kelly.
Grace Jones.
Grace Kelly. Sorry. Grace Jones. Yeah, Grace Kelly. Actually, there's a movie I haven't seen yet, Aliens 3. She looks pretty tough with that shaved heads in some of the ads that I've seen. You know, Sigourney Weaver, she looks like she's tough, so this would be cool. Okay, we got that. Now, what else we got to do to finish this up? We want to put anything, do we want to add any more like on her arms or around her chest area up in here? You want to, see the segmented abdomen? Do you want to like carry that motif into her chest?
No.
So, you don't want to see it? You want to see like nice voluptuous curves, or do you want to see metallic, or what would you like? Whenever we do women characters and give them their own comic book, you guys never buy it. I don't know, I don't understand it. So, okay, we'll give her some coives. Nice, tight neck bone. We'll make it cool here. Okay, come up in here. I might even, why don't we give her a little bit of hair, just almost like a ponytail, just right in the back, just to give her a little bit of a wispy, wiggy, ugly look here. We got this, got the same hands. It's going to be normal, or otherwise it's called normal, and give her the fist with the, give her the, finish up her arms right here. Now, you know what? Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld and Wills, they can draw like these things 10 times faster and 10 times better than I can. Coming up in here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we got pretty much, I can always add or subtract once I get it home and we take a look. Let's see if we can't get a little bit of color in before we call it a day and we let you guys get out of here. So, what kind of color we want for her face? Do you want to keep that white? Like a Joker? Why don't we keep her all white then? If we're going to go white, why don't we keep her all white? What about her hair? Do you want to give her a bit of a tint of color on her hair? Purple. That's a cool color. Let's do it. Give her a little bit of purple. We'll just give her a little bit of highlight here. Perfect. Okay. And she's going to have purple hair. Then let's give her some purple boots. Now this is just, again, just to get some color coordinations here. Well, I'm coloring some of this, and we make some color. We got to give her a name, boys and girls. How about Lotus? Like Lotus, you know what Lotus is in the computer business? It makes real quick judgments, and it's kind of an accounting thing, and it does things quick. And or Locus, or something like that. Locus? Can you guys live with that? Yeah. Lotus or Locus? Lotus it will be. No, we got it. We're there. Lotus. Okay, we're gonna be there. Okay. We're gonna keep her flesh up, or I mean not flesh, but her white fleshy stuff there. What color for the up top? We got purple. We can either do something that's like bluish, or we can do something like the Los Angeles Lakers, come in with the yellow, or what do you guys see? Green? Green, okay, I heard a green. I can live with green because green is like a bug. So, okay, let's do a green. Let's get some purple. And some purple. Okay, let's get some green in there. We'll make it a bright green. I don't know if I'm going to pick the right green right off the bat here, but let's give her, we'll make this green up in here. And we'll make this, her arms green and purple. Oh yeah, we love those colors. We'll make this green. I see a little bit of design going up her belly here too. So we'll make this green here. We'll make the abdomen a bit green. And we'll make this stripe on her shoulder green here, right here, okay? We need another color. We need another trim color.
Black.
We like black, you're right, we can work black in. So, okay, let's get a black here. Give her a heavy shadow here on the bosoms. Give her a heavy shadow here on the bosoms. Shadow here. And we'll come up with a bit of design running up her belly here, because then that way that'll frame the abdomen that we've got on her, and I can work out some of the kinks. I'll probably make this a little bit shiny on her chest right in here. Give this a little bit of a highlight up in here. And we have And there. Now I'll make that. That'll be real subtle when we do it. So the yellow, don't you worry about that. So there we go. We got Chance out here. Chance, can you give me? Is Chance Wolf in the audience here, please? Come on up here, Chance. I made it down where it was going to be a little bit awkward for you, but give us something wild. Give us something wispy, and I'm going to finish up this chain here. Good. The Lotus.
It just isn't working.
It's working. We love it. As a matter of fact, you're on camera, and everybody's seeing the screw-ups.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. And we'll give it a quick, look at that, even give it a quick highlight right here, just to make you look great.
Oh, you get a chance to do anything with it.
Well, get it. Here's the purple.
Is that purple? I was going to drop a drop shadow on the other side.
Good.
Oh,
Do
well.
it.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? I'm going to give you
that out.
10, and then we're living with this one. We're taking this home, and we're calling it a night. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Okay,
4, 3, 2, 1. We have Lotus. Okay, here we go. Okay, she will be appearing. She will be appearing in one of the future spawns. We're going to get a little mini comic book out on her. I'd like to thank Al for the soul and inspiration of the spawn. Thank you, Al. I'd like to thank Chancey for working out and doing a great. As a matter of fact, we'll get Chance to do a great logo, finished logo. But more importantly than that, you guys, when you go home, when you see that character, this character is dedicated to all you guys here. And we'll make sure we get it in there. We recognize you guys when we design them, that you guys helped along in the process. Thanks for coming. Hope you guys got a little bit of insight, and thanks.